At Oman LNG, we take safety very seriously. We care for our staff. We are trying always to avoid incidents or accidents to happen in this company. We want everybody to come to work and go back safely as they come in. It is very important that people come here to work, either employees or contractors or our partners who visit our plant, to go back to their family very safe. We do not want any incident to happen. We have achieved recently over 20 million man-hours without LTI. This is not just luck. We worked very hard to achieve this milestone. The march is not stopping here. We are going to work even harder to make sure that the culture of safety, the protection of our staff, our visitors and contractors continue all the way as long as this company is operating. When we achieve great milestones, like the milestone we have recently achieved of over 20 million man-hours without LTI, it's very easy people to be complacent on what they are doing. We take this as a normal operation or a normal way of work. We encourage people to always have chronic unease every time they do a task or every time they come to work. This will help us to make sure that we don't leave any stone unturned to be safe in whatever we do. Chronic unease, it's very important in our lives, whether we are at home, we are at work, or we are at the road. Always be worried that something wrong may happen. This is the only way you can avoid it to happen. We are very proud of what we have achieved. We have done a lot of work in this company, a lot of shutdowns, a lot of maintenance work, a lot of things have been happening very safely and very efficiently. Now we are entering into a new phase. The new phase will give us a lot of projects. There will be a lot of people working on site on a different projects at a different phases of those projects. This is a new phase in our company. I want to tell everybody, I want to tell all of our staff and all the contractors, please make sure that we continue this march of safety. We look at the work that is being done and make sure that it is done properly, and safety always in the front of whatever we do. The first thing that we should ensure is that people come to work, go back home safely, and we execute our work without any incident, without causing any injury to anybody, or without causing any death to anybody. This will be a great achievement once we finish these major projects.
Well, you'll feel so sad when you hear this type of news, and for sure there's something to be learned from. We need to understand what went wrong. We should not accept this type of accident in our site. So that could be an area where we need to investigate, try to understand what went wrong. What can we do about it, and how can we prevent it happening in the future?
Yeah, it's always a shock and a sad news when you hear an accident, and especially if it leads to a fatality, because you can automatically relate to a person and you want to find out whether you personally know that person and whether that incident is one that you could have done something to avoid happening.
So when there is a fatality in our industry, along with being disappointed and sad about it, we always go into a learning mode where we know these incidents are preventable. And we go quickly into our barriers, into our assets, to understand and make sure that these barriers and controls are strong in our asset, and that incident will not happen in our facilities.
It's always good to feel cared for. You know that there is a whole structure behind you that allow you and help you to get what you need to be done. You also know that you're protected through that care on having all the elements in place to make you deliver what you need to deliver.
Yeah, being cared for is a very nice, beautiful feeling. It gives you a sense of belonging. It gives you a sense of achievement, because you also get an opportunity to discuss your views and also to get some sort of alignment with your team. It gives you the support that you need, and also it makes sure that you are able to manage peer pressure and work day-to-day pressure as well.
Definitely you feel happy when you're cared for, and that reflecting the teamwork of the organization and the environment we are working in that have been taken care of.
There are many dilemmas. I think as part of my job, these dilemmas come and it's very dynamic. I think the important thing is to understand this dilemma and even share with people, and that's what I do. Sometime before making a decision, or if it's touching people's welfare, safety, you have to start thinking of the welfare of the people and the safety of the people. And if it's safety of the people, again, you have to intervene and ensure that that dilemma is intervened and corrected in the right way.
The first aspect of really dealing with dilemmas is to raise awareness that they exist in our industry and in our site, and allow people to know and understand that they can talk about it, that they can approach others and raise their queries, and they know that they can be helped to deal with those dilemmas.
One of the key factors to resolve dilemma is actually teamwork. You need to put your thoughts around the table, discuss it with people, with your peers, so you will come up with a mature and jointly decision which then solve your dilemma, so you don't only feel stress.
In a dilemma, sometimes you have to intervene. You intervene the right way, the wrong way, but when it comes to safety, you must intervene. And I empower you to intervene to ensure that it is safe. Even though you have to stop work, this is very important. Stop, discuss, and then move forward.
We don't normalize any risk. There's no risk should be normalized. And if we see that type of cases, definitely we need to do something about it. We encourage people to step in and try to avoid accepting of living with the risk.
The risk that you normalize, if I personally, I try not to normalize the risk. But this is where sometimes unconsciously you could normalize it because it has been something that it was a habit, or it was something that you've done. And this is where what's important is that when somebody intervenes and say, look, this is not the right thing to do, you should accept and say thank you to that person, because that person has helped you to understand that this is not the right thing to do. And I think it's important that we as an organization help to intervene when we see somebody is deviating something.
I try not to normalize to risk from the beginning, but being aware that in a project environment, the biggest risk of normalization come from temporary changes or scope creep or deviation that set in place to allow you to move, but then get accepted and not being reassessed, and ensure that those temporary changes are either removed or reinforced to stay permanent. That aspect in a brownfield scope like what we work in is an Oman LNG could be quite painful if we let it slip and those temporary activities get normalized into a permanent world.
My biggest risk that is always continuously standing on this asset is capabilities and competencies of my team. It is sometimes very easy to accept substandard of our suppliers, our contractors, and we go about to find alternative ways around it. And I think we shouldn't do it. We should uphold our high standard and our high requirements for the site, so then we are not exposed to normalizing risks.
Well, my message to everyone, and staff, contractor and our visitors, please obey the safety rules. There's a main purpose why the safety rules were put in place. Also, if you're in doubt, please do ask. And we encourage them to intervene when they feel something is not right, and should never accept risk normalization.
The message that Oman LNG is an organization that they have a culture of intervention. So we would like people who come to Oman LNG to intervene if they see something that is not right and doesn't meet the norms of how we should operate. They should also feel that they are empowered to escalate if they feel that the intervention has not led them to get the correct understanding and assurance that we are doing the right thing at this site.
And this special day, I just would like to emphasize the importance of safety in our day-to-day activities. All of us are empowered to drive HSE performance, HSE improvement, and we are also expected to uphold to our HSE standards and also our HSE rules.
We need to remember the goal zero. So always put safety in your mind. There is no compromise when it comes to safety.
Many of us work here to make a living. We have a family at home, and these are the families that matters to us. I always tell people, look, when you work here, we have to work safely. And I always tell people that, look, family is important, work is important, but safety is also important. At the end of the day, it is safety at work and family at heart. If you keep this in mind and you keep your family at heart, I'm sure that you'll work safe so that you know at the end of the day you return to your family safely.